Good evening. We're going to get started. I'm Anahit Garakhanyan, Vice Dean, and I welcome you and congratulate you on your bar passage and welcome your family, friends, supporters to this wonderful occasion. Also, I want to say in my externship co-director capacity, I hope in a few years you'll reach out to me or I'll reach out to you as you're well established in your careers, so that you can get connected to current students and become a teacher and mentor to current students. Wonderful to have you here. Before we start the ceremony, I just want to ask if everyone could silence your cell phones, and for everyone who's here, family, friends, if you could remain seated throughout tonight's ceremony. We are going to start with roll call. When I say your name, if you could say present or I passed, that would be nice. Tala Achi Mueller. Tenny Amadian. James Clark. Amanda Francisco. Shahzad Haddad. David Kim. Sarah Kim. Jeffrey Cozono. Matthew Kroll. Jason Lee. Mary Liu. Nando Liu. Patricia Mamek. Jeffrey Martin. Mariana Petrosian. Eleni Rodriguez. And Alexandra Tunaru. Wonderful. Dean Dickerson, the candidates present today are ready to be sworn into the courts.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you back on campus for this special event. First, I want to welcome the graduates who have passed the bar exam and are eligible to be sworn into the California Bar. Congratulations. Second, I want to welcome the graduates' families and friends. Thank you so much for supporting them throughout their law school and bar exam journey. I know that they value your support, and I know that you're glad to have them back. And third, for the faculty and staff here, thank you for all you do to help prepare our graduates for the bar exam, and even more importantly, for the practice of law. The bar exam is one of the most difficult tests anywhere. I'm about 35 years out from it, and I still have scars. But the California bar exam is widely considered to be one of, if not the most difficult bar exam in the country. So you can really give yourself double congratulations for passing that exam. Over 2 days, you wrote essays, answered dozens of multiple choice questions, you applied testing strategies, and demonstrated what you learned during your years in law school. Of course, before you even sat for that exam, you spent months reviewing class notes, taking practice tests, sacrificing evenings and weekends for concentrated study. And of course, you guys accomplished a lot of this during a global pandemic, so that's triple congratulations. The bar exam is grueling and rigorous, but being an attorney is a privilege and a responsibility. As an attorney, you will have the power to change lives and to change the world. As an attorney, you often represent clients during their most vulnerable moments. You will be called on to counsel and advise them about some of the most important decisions and events of their lives. So our courts try hard to extend a license to practice law to only those who demonstrate the highest levels of integrity, skill, and grit to use that power appropriately. By passing the bar exam and clearing character and fitness, you have demonstrated yourself worthy of the state of California of being entrusted with an attorney's power. And in so doing, you join the likes of our current Vice President, Kamala Harris, U.S. Supreme Court Justice retired Anthony Kennedy, and also Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, as well as thousands of others, powerful, influential, and history-making California attorneys. I'd now like to introduce two very important guests, both alums, who have joined us to administer the oaths for the state of California and the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. The first is Judge Deborah Brazil, class of 1996, who will administer the state oath. While at Southwestern, Judge Brazil served as the Moot Court Honors Program Chair. After graduation, she served as a district deputy attorney from 1997 to 2013, working in multiple divisions, including major crimes and hardcore gang. She was appointed to the bench in 2013 and currently sits at the Clara Shortridge Foltz Criminal Justice Center in downtown Los Angeles. She has taught as an adjunct at Southwestern and is a past president of the Southwestern Alumni Association. And in about 2 weeks, she's going to be receiving the Southwestern Outstanding Judicial Officer Award at our alumni gala. We're also honored to have Judge Otis Wright, class of 1980, to administer the federal oath. Before law school, Judge Wright served as a U.S. Marine and then a deputy sheriff in the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, including while he attended Southwestern's evening program. After law school, he joined the Attorney General's office, and a few years later moved to private practice with the law firm of Wilson Elser. In 2005, Judge Wright was appointed to the Los Angeles County Superior Court, and in 2007, he was appointed to the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. He is a longtime volunteer for Southwestern's Moot Court program and hires many alums as his clerks, which we appreciate. Please join me in welcoming both judges this afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. And I love the fact that is there 15 of you or 16 of you? I think 16 now. But it's such a pleasure to have a small, intimate group because you are true success stories. The dismal bar passage rate, not for Southwestern, but for the entirety of the state of California for the February bar was in the 30 percentile, as I'm sure you all know. So you should take extra pride in yourselves for being here tonight and being successful on the bar. You know the person that you sat next to in law school that made some of the worst classes bearable and got you through hard times because they made you laugh or they made a moment that was kind of painful better? That's the way I feel when I come here to swear in people with my friend and colleague, Judge Wright. He makes me laugh when I don't want to laugh and makes me smile. So I say that to you because we both come to you tonight, not only as people wearing black robes to perform a ceremonial oath, but as human beings, as people. I'm going to speak to you briefly about the subject of tenacity. My friend is going to speak to you about mistakes. His is going to be better than mine, and I know I want to learn from his experience because he is one of the most experienced bench officers on our federal bench in the Central District. Going through law school during the pandemic, I know was difficult for all of you. It was difficult for everyone. I saw it firsthand in lawyers who were appearing in front of me. I realized about 3 months into the pandemic that the people in front of me were being affected by forces in their lives that I knew nothing about. So I adopted the mindset that the people in front of me, the attorneys practicing law, earning a living, trying to take care of their family, were suffering. And it changed me fundamentally as a bench officer. It increased my compassion and empathy and understanding of other people's frailties. I know that there are a lot of you in the audience who took the bar more than once. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands, although I thought about it, and I think you should wear that as a badge of honor that when you did not succeed the first time, you picked yourself up and got back in the fight, and you're here. And to those of you who maybe took the bar more than one time, 2 times, 3 times, even more respect to each one of you, because that experience and that tenacity is going to serve you well from whatever experiences you have facing you as you begin the practice of law, whether it's another national and global pandemic, whether it is a difficult bench officer, a difficult client, seasons of your life that are going to be difficult, and you will have those experiences. What you have gone through and found deep within yourself, the strength, the ability, the positivity is going to serve you well. But please remember to extend that compassion to other people, your clients, your colleagues, even your partners who are difficult, supervising partners or supervising attorneys, because the practice of law, 0 to 5 years, can be very challenging. You'll be asked to do more than maybe what you think is fair. But continue to remember what you want to achieve and where you want to be. Set those goals for yourself, because you can make those dreams come true. You did it. You're here. You did something that 70% of the people in California who took the February bar were not able to do. So I say this to you to encourage you. I know that you all want to be here because you worked really hard to get here. I encourage you to continue to take care of yourself, which I know that you did, or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have got through COVID, got through law school, graduated in 2022, taken the bar, succeeded, and are here. Continue to take care of yourself as you practice law. It's a wonderful profession. I'm so honored to see attorneys in my courtroom every single day. I hope that some of you might practice criminal law and be in my courtroom at some point. I just had a verdict today. One of the attorneys is a Southwestern grad, and I was really proud to be an alum with someone who did such a great job on behalf of his client. So with that, I wish you all the best as you go forward practicing. And as soon as I administer the oath, you'll be ready to go hang out a shingle, get a job somewhere, start practicing, and it's really going to be wonderful for you. But remember that kindness does not detract from your abilities to be a tenacious lawyer at all. Human kindness is a show of strength, not weakness, ever. Let the law and the facts and your kindness lead you as you practice law. And I believe you'll have a happier life, which ultimately, I hope you're working to live a good life and not just living to work every day, 7 days a week. So if you'll please stand, I'll administer the oath to you. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of an attorney and counselor at law to the best of my knowledge and ability. As an officer of the court, I will strive to conduct myself at all times with dignity, courtesy, and integrity. Congratulations. Welcome to the State Bar.
Your Honor, I, Anahit Garakanyan, do hereby certify as follows. I'm a member in good standing of the Bar of the United States District Court for the Central District of California. I know the petitioners for admission to the bar of this court, and I affirm that said petitioners are of good moral character and are members of the State Bar of the State of California in good standing on the date of the petition herein. Therefore, I move that the petitioners be admitted to the United States District Court for the Central District of California.
I'm gonna grant the motion, right?
I hope so.
All right. Normally, Judge Brazil gives a wonderful speech. And I generally fold up mine and I put it in my pocket and I have nothing to say. She has pretty much covered the waterfront. Today, she decides to be cute. All right, okay, I am gonna share one thing with you. As you might imagine, judicial law clerks are a very, very, very bright bunch, like you all. And my congratulations to you. And to you, outstanding judicial officer. And because they are so bright, I feel it's not necessary to tell them the obvious. And a number of times I've found, I blame myself for not telling these kids when they go off into the real world, the practice of the white shoe firms that they so fervently lusted for, that there's certain things you have to remember because they're so bright. And it's happening more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times that they didn't know the obvious. And I take full responsibility for not having told them certain things. So I'm going to tell you just a couple of them. I hope you won't go out and hang up your shingle and immediately start practicing law. I really do. I hope you don't do that. I hope you get the best training you can possibly get. You learn an awful lot in law school, but not quite enough. Okay, so go someplace where you can get well trained. I got some suggestions, but now is not the time. If you find yourself in an organization, particularly when you're a first-year associate, but it goes beyond that. In my particular case, my law clerk wanted to go to a firm that claimed that they had really quite a sophisticated and extensive pro bono program. And my law clerk wanted to go out and change the world. So this was very appealing to her. So she goes to a big firm in Chicago, and they did indeed have really quite a very nice pro bono program. And she got herself a liquor store robbery, armed liquor store robbery case. And she was able to do an awful lot of that pretrial work on it. So you get a chance to write the memoranda, et cetera, and argue them. And she's basically kind of getting geared up for her first real trial. I think it was like today, Thursday, for a weekend. She's going to start trial Monday. And she's working feverishly. A partner sticks her head into her door and says, "Beer, I need some help." "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to help you. I'm trying to prepare for my trial Monday." The partner says, "What trial?" She says, "Well, I've got a pro bono case that I was going to trial Monday." Partner didn't say a word. Stood there and looked at her for a moment, did an about face, walked out of the office, and essentially walked out of her life. Pro bono is a wonderful thing, but pro bono does not put that mahogany wood paneling on the walls, or that expensive original artwork, or that outrageously large salary that she has. That's obvious, isn't it? I didn't think I had to tell her that. But it destroyed her. She tried for a year, billing outrageously inhuman hours in order to try to redeem herself. She did a lot of 7-day-a-week stretches. but it wasn't enough. So I'm telling you, don't make that mistake. Seems obvious, don't make that mistake. If a partner comes to you or a senior supervising attorney comes to you with a project, you're going to accept the project unless it's humanly impossible because someone else of equal rank is also giving you a similar project with the same deadline. That's not your problem. It's their problem. So just let the last partner know what your dilemma is and let the two of them work it out. But your answer is never no, okay? Or that you're too busy. One other thing that came up. It's come up before, but most recently last night, and I decided that, well, I guess it's time to state the obvious to people, to the young attorneys. Last night was a function, I probably have this backwards, bench meets the bar or bar meets the bench, whatever. It's an opportunity for young lawyers to collaborate, fraternize with the bench. Last night's was at a particularly nice place and wonderful hors d'oeuvres and an open bar. It's an opportunity for some of the young lawyers to schmooze a little bit, network a little bit, show their interest in some of these law firms that are represented by some of the partners who are in attendance. It's a good opportunity to land a job because you'll get a chance to meet people in a so-called casual environment and, put your best foot forward. It's a lot better than sometimes just sending out resumes, it's impersonal. When they get a chance to actually meet someone, that enhances your opportunities of actually landing a job. You may feel that a drink or two will help you relax, will make you more glib and humorous. It also disengages that governor between your brain and your mouth. I cannot think of anything good that's going to come out of you mixing alcohol in a semi-professional environment. It's simply a bad idea. Stick with the soda, stick with water, stick with whatever that doesn't have alcohol in it, okay? Last night, someone got stupid. And here's the deal, and this goes along with, it's too late now, it's past. The outrageous celebrations because you have passed the bar. You've already gotten past that. So if you're going to be stupid, you've already been stupid. But I had a friend of mine who's been on the state court for really quite a while. No, it's not Judge Brazil, who wanted some advice and some help, if possible, to get onto the federal court. Judge Brazil, back me up on this. We have absolutely no role to play in who comes onto the court. Absolutely none. No one asks us. They don't care what we think. So why she would ask me for advice on getting to the federal bench, I have no idea. She said, well, what? I said, do it the same way. It's the exact same application as for the state bench. And I'm sure you didn't throw away that state court application. It's like 25 pages. It takes forever to put this thing together because they are asking for an incredible amount of information. You don't throw that sucker away. Just put another face sheet on it. Well, anyway, she confessed that she's got a bit of a problem on her record, that after the bar results came out, her entire study group got together and they went out and just got wasted. Why you can't get wasted at home, just have all of your friends over, I don't know. But a couple of them got stopped and arrested for DUI on the way home from this gathering. Keep something in mind, regardless of what the ultimate outcome of that's going to be, but a DUI arrest is expensive. And then there's judges like me. DUI is a misdemeanor, technically. Then there's folks like me who visualize their granddaughter on their little bicycle with the training wheels, wobbling down the street, thinking that the world is a perfectly safe place. So there are some who don't look at this as a minor offense. And it can really seriously impact your career. So lawyers are retained for, among other things, their judgment. Don't show bad judgment this early in the game. You're in a fishbowl now. If you're the night manager at Wendy's, nobody cares what you do in your free time. No one is watching you. You're not going to make the 6 o'clock news when you screw up. Things are different now. You have to be very careful how you carry yourself, how you conduct yourself. You learned about strict scrutiny, right? You're going to be subject to strict scrutiny. Sometimes when there's a screw up and there was a former Marine involved, they let you know about that. Coast Guard, Navy, Army, no, they don't mention that. You screw up as a lawyer, count on the fact that that's going to make the news. So always, always use good judgment. One other thing. I was told this not that many years ago. I guess I graduated from here, I don't know, 40 years ago, something like that. And it wasn't until a few years ago that I learned this fact. Many of you are going to have a guardian angel. Maybe you already do. And I discovered that I had one that came into play shortly after I got out of law school. Sort of hiding in the weeds and not saying much of anything, but just watching. And this particular guardian angel, I'm not going to give too much biographical information, but was on an appellate court. At one time was the president of the California State Bar, and then every bar underneath that. Extremely influential, extremely influential. Just been watching, spent years watching. When I got the appointment to, oh, by the way, when I applied to Superior Court, the managing partner of the firm where I was working at didn't think that the process was moving fast enough. They thought that I should have by then was 2 weeks, should have had an interview with the governor's judicial appointment secretary. And he said, you need to step up this process. I have no control over when the governor's judicial appointment secretary schedules interviews. He says, no, you don't, but you know someone who does. And then he gave me this person's name. I didn't even know that they knew one another. But I did call my guardian angel. And I said, do you really have any influence here? I says, I know I probably shouldn't even ask, but do you? And his response was, can you be in Sacramento Tuesday? Okay, fine. So I get the appointment, I get everything. And naturally, I want him to swear me in. He, after I take the oath, he shakes my hand and he pulls me in closer. He says, I hope you'll let me do the next one. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Seriously, and he left. He just left the premises. So I'm a Superior Court judge for about, I don't know, 6 months. And I get a telephone call while we're in session. My JA says, you've got a call. It's like a war zone in there. You've got a call. I'm a little busy now. She says, I think this is a call you'll want to take. She hands me the little message slip, and it's got a 202 area code. Well, I'm pretty stupid, but I knew that that was DC. So I take the call. It's an invitation to apply to the federal court. All right. He later told me that this had been planned. But before he was going to make any kind of a recommendation at all, he wanted to see whether or not I was just going to do something stupid. Because he wasn't going to waste his influence and recommendation on someone who has poor judgment. I had no idea that this person is lurking in the background. No idea at all. And I want you to keep it in mind. There is someone who in the background is supporting you. You've heard the fact that none of us can get to where we are without someone else's help. If you get anywhere in life at all, it's not solely because of you and your efforts and your talent. Please. You've had support from someone. And you don't always know who that someone is. You're going to be watched. And I tell my kids all the time, okay, law clerks, you kids are going to be on a trajectory much higher and much steeper than a whole lot of the folks that you went to law school with. That's just a fact. You're going to have opportunities that a lot of people that you went to college with are not going to have. That's a fact. And the odds are pretty good that one day you're going to get a telephone call that's going to involve the question of whether or not you mind subjecting yourself to an FBI background investigation. Someone is going to make you an offer that you will not want to refuse, but it will involve a background investigation. And you want to make sure that you pass it. Conduct yourself at all times as though that's down the road, that it's coming. That day is coming. And you do want to have a completely unblemished record. All right, all two of you that would like to gain admittance in the federal court. There's not two. Oh my God. One, sort of two. They aren't sure. You're not really sure you want to do this? Okay, because I'll be looking forward to seeing you. All right, raise your hand and repeat after me. I solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Are you going to come and play with us? Okay, all right. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the government of the United States. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the government of the United States. All right, good. That I will maintain the respect due to the courts. That I will maintain the respect due to the courts. That's pretty good. Of justice and judicial officers. And that I will demean myself as an attorney, proctor, advocate, solicitor, and counselor of this court uprightly. Uprightly. According to law, so help me God. Congratulations. And you're right, nobody talks like this. So.
Judge Wright and Judge Brazil, thank you for sharing your insights with our new lawyers. And let's give our new lawyers who are now sworn in and able to practice in the state of California, and two of you in the federal court, a big final round of applause. And I hope you'll all now join us on the 5th floor in the Salmadern for reception. Have a good evening.